Hi. Have you ever considered leaving competition behind by specializing in a specific industry? If so, then you're in the right place. Welcome and thank you for joining. My name is Kasper Tomshøj. I am the manager and one of the founders of PrintVis. And for more than 20 years, we have been specializing in the wonderful world of print and packaging. Now, the decision to be more than just a very good VAR, but instead specializing in a specific industry, that is a strategic move. I mean, going vertical is not just adding another add-on to your portfolio to strengthen your existing business. It is a decision to build on top of your existing competencies of Business Central, implementations, customizations, etc., and adding an extra layer of industry knowledge in order to be able to enter new markets. Like all other investments, you need to consider carefully and make the choices that are right for your company. Now, in this session, we will try to give you some insights in our vertical. We will talk about the industry. Is it actually worthwhile even to consider specializing in? The customer's needs and the ISV product's ability to cover these. Basically, you want to go to market with a mature product. What experience and considerations have other partners had when choosing to go vertical with PrintVis? And finally, some information about our partner program. How do you get started on a vertical journey? When you think about the printing industry, the first thing that comes to mind is, isn't that dying? I mean, nobody uses business cards or read newspapers anymore. And that is true. But the printing and packaging industry is so much more than that. Now let's do a little test. Use 5 minutes to walk around in the room where you're sitting and collect everything that is printed. Print is everywhere. Business cards, brochures, stationery, newspapers, labels, boxes, envelopes, signs, posters, billboards, flags, print on textiles, print on plastic, you name it. In Europe, there are 112,000 printing companies with more than 650,000 employees. Because the products are often too expensive to ship due to weight and often needed in short delivery horizons, printing companies are often spread geographically. As a rule of thumb, you have approximately one printing company per 4,000 inhabitants. Now, think about your own country and do the math. Mass customizations is getting more and more in demand, and areas like packaging and label is increasing. Printed electronics, textile and decor is increasing. And for textiles, electronics and decorations, we are simply facing industry movements where entire industries are moving into the printing industry from other business areas. Traditional commercial print is declining, but it is still among the biggest industries in the world, measured on number of employees and related industries. The value of printed matter is increasing. Several studies show that learning from print on paper is more efficient than digital learning. And in advertising, we see companies that had gone 100% digital are returning to paper advertising. And in general, paper-based production is perceived as exclusive. Today, huge amount of money is invested in development of packaging and books. In the printing industry, the processes around Industry 4.0 is a focus area where ERP systems plays a very important part. Lights out productions, AI, automation, integration are not just fancy buzzwords, but on top of mind of most managers in this industry. Let's hear it from one of our customers. We have asked Parag Patel from EPAC Flexible Packaging to share his thoughts on the industry. He will tell us a little bit about his own company and their usage of PrintVis. EPAC is a global company producing pouches for the food industry. And in case you're wondering what is a pouch, this is what we're talking about. Now, as a print nerd, I'm not really interested in the rice inside, but I find the packaging extremely exciting. So this is printed with a digital print directly on plastic, and then there's a glued a zipper on top here. This is what the EPAC is doing. Let's meet Parag.
My name is Parag Patel. I'm with EPAC Flexible Packaging. EPAC was started about 4 years ago, as a complete greenfield packaging operation. So flexible packaging, what is it? We make basically bags or pouches from plastics, typically one, 2 or 3 layers of film put together to give it some structure that we print on, for multiple brands that you can package typically food products or pet food items into that you see in a grocery store on the shelves. So a lot of packaging has moved from boxes and cans and so forth to more the plastic packaging because it's more efficient to transport, and then also it's much more presentable to the customer online. They can see what's in the package, and it has a variety of applications. So you have powdered goods or liquid goods or solids. So we can make structures that fit just about every kind of product that you're selling. So this industry has grown tremendously over the past 10 to 15 years because the consumer has demanded choices in the marketplace. So whereas you used to get one kind of or two maybe bags of chips in the grocery store, and now you'll see hundreds of different flavors, very specific to very small niche markets. And so the manufacturers have had to adapt to a new consumer demand and find a way to produce all these packages in smaller quantities but still at a large scale in terms of number of SKUs. So if you think about the just-in-time concept that has kind of permeated a lot of other industries, even things like fashion today, where Amazon is almost ready to print clothing on demand or make clothing on demand. Packaging has evolved in a similar way. So it's gone from a completely analog mechanism, where it's big flexo presses that take a long time to set up, take a large investment from manufacturers. It's gone to a much smaller footprint and faster turnaround time, to save on inventory, save on obsolescence, and also give the manufacturers ultimate flexibility in meeting consumer demands. So when you think about those demands, how do you create a company that can quickly adapt? So you need good assets, digital presses, etc., and then you need good software and automation to help you produce these at a large scale. We needed a flexible platform to service that scale and that growth. And the only way to do it is with an open, what I'll call open ERP system, which Dynamics has, but it has to also support a fairly complex product production process, right? So we don't have traditional, widgets that we take off the shelf and put together to produce an end product, like if you were manufacturing an engine or something like that, right? Because everything for us is custom. So when you think about processes to produce a custom package, from printing to laminating, sitting, then pouching, all in different sizes, with literally it could be hundreds of structures that need to be created on the fly. With different attributes, like we have zippers or hang holes or tear notches, or, for coffee bags, it's different. We need something that's very flexible. So while Nav is a good open product, we also needed the additional flexibility to adjust and adapt to the changing needs, in terms of even machines, the types of inputs we get in terms of structures, etc. All of these things need to be in place so that you can fully understand how much it costs to produce something based on a custom specification in a quick way, and then adjust as you go along. So one of the key items for us is to be able to give the customer a very quick answer on how much something may cost them, right? So you know, as you guys, sorry, as you know, the instant nature of things with people being used to, you know, providers like Amazon or other retailers has kind of caused consumers or customers in our case to be very demanding in terms of turnaround time. So we have to be able to turn around a complex solution very quickly, and then we have to be able to produce quickly. You know, so NAV provides a really good modern platform, and we have a great partner in PrintVis that's you know, integrated within NAV that really makes our solution, you know, feasible. And in this industry, you know, packaging alone is in the US, I think it's about a $40 billion industry. And it's, you know, moving more and more towards this, you know, flexible concept. And frankly, some of the things we're doing has already, you know, been done in the label industry, in the corrugated or folding carton. And so those are very large, even adjacent industries to flexible packaging. You know, one of the aspects of the solution we were looking for is that, you know, we reduce the burden on infrastructure. And we are a very small team with, you know, almost 20 plants at this point. And the footprint in each plant is relatively small. It's basically, you know, firewalls and networking to support the plant. But there are really no, you know, traditional servers or data centers, you know, for us. You know, we build everything in the cloud. And that gives us, obviously, there are advantages to that, you know, in terms of redundancy and overhead and managing and the capital investment required. And it's really, you know, critical for us to do that, to expand globally and support a very, you know, diverse, you know, footprint for our plants. And I think the only way we could really do this in this modern environment is with the cloud. I mean, we've really embraced it and have, like I said, built everything so in the cloud. So for us, an ERP system that was on premise would not have worked. It would not have scaled for us. We wouldn't be able to support it, you know, with a very small team that we have. And you know, so what we were looking for is, you know, when we built this, is an open system, meaning APIs, right? Modern technology with, you know, microservices, etc. We needed a stable cloud platform, and we happen to do all of our development in Azure, but you really could do it in AWS or whatever you choose. And then also all the partners we align with that, you know, needed to support that. So I think that really has been one of the key factors for us, you know, for the ability to scale it out quickly, to go from one plant to almost 20 plants in a matter of really 3 years. Well, I can say it's a huge market, but it's a complex market, and the companies that embrace it and look for a modern, you know, solution, I think are going to be the ones that succeed in the long term.
Now, thank you, Parag. Hopefully this gave you a little insight on the world of print and packaging and what's on the mind of the managers in this industry. Let's just sum that up with a quick chat with another customer that's in the process of implementing PrintVis.
My name is Alex Greenhalgh. I'm the IT project manager for Mercury Print Productions. I work primarily on our web-to-print homegrown MIS system, but am now fully involved in the implementation of PrintVis here at Mercury. It's something that once you get your hands on, it's really hard to put down, right? I find myself really just wanting to learn more because you're endlessly able to do more and more with the software solution. Whereas with other, the software that we're running today, to be perfectly honest, it's limited, right? We kind of have been put within the various constraints built by the developers and now we're fixed there. And we've had to kind of slap on secondary systems that are either pulling data, manipulating data, and knowing that we don't have to keep doing that going forward is really great.
Hopefully this gave you a little insight in the world of print and packaging. Next question you have to ask is, why have other partners decided to go vertical with PrintVis? We have talked to some of them. First, let's hear from Yprint, a US partner that has chosen to go all in and start a brand new company doing nothing but PrintVis.
Just as a little bit of background, before, in our history, the first thing we did is we were the largest Peachtree partner back in the 80s and early 90s. We had 17,000 customers. And then we became one of the first Navision partners in North America. And, we now only have a few hundred customers of that. And actually with the cloud and with PrintVis, we sort of are dreaming about having 17,000 customers again. We think it's actually conceivable. There's certainly enough business there. And if we can get the cloud alignment right, where we can get the services down and very systematic, and with the product that has deep functionality, we think that's possible. So we're kind of excited about the long-term future. Well, there were three primary reasons. The first one is that the market is huge. There are thousands and thousands of print operations here. And the second reason is that the primary supplier of software solutions to that market, they're not popular. Their customers really don't like them. They've been around for a long time and they haven't really kept up with technology. The third reason is that PrintVis, it's kind of a twofold reason. PrintVis is very mature. They have deep technology for the print industry and they have a cloud native solution. Well, in our case, we decided to set up a separate operation and hire people that focused exclusively on the print industry. So my first job was to hire Amy, and then together we hired a team of initially 5 people, and they were 100% dedicated to our print vertical. And we made it a point to include people that had deep industry knowledge. There were 2 people on the initial team, and now I think we have 4 that knew a lot about the print business.
On the print side, specifically in the estimating area, the feedback has been that the solution looks pretty simple to use. We definitely explained that there is a lot of configuration that goes in on the back end so that they have that level of flexibility that they're looking for. But certainly the front end, sometimes they even think it looks too simplistic until we start giving them more details, which is really great because it is a robust solution. So you don't want it to look complex. A few things, like Jim has mentioned, is hiring people that are specific to the industry that you're going after. That has been a really critical thing for us because then we build a lot of credibility with the prospects that we're speaking with. And then having a team that is works together very much so. So we spent a lot of our initial weeks and even a few months very much working closely together so that when there was a gap in knowledge by one resource, another resource was able to pick that up. So we had a very aligned team and super supportive of each other. That was also very helpful. And we also got quite a bit of support from the PrintVis team. So we would practice for our demos. We would do the demos for some of the PrintVis consultants so that they could give us the critiquing that we need to focus on the right things in the demo. And then also it was a learning experience during that process. So we could also learn some of the functionality that existing customers felt was the most beneficial for their businesses as well. So we could call those out. So I think between having the right resources from the print industry, of course, we had the resources from the ERP side. That was fairly easy since that's where we all come from. And then spending a decent amount of time together as a team and then also with PrintVis.
Thank you to Jim and Amy. Now we have also talked to John Mullins from Sabre that has taken a more traditional approach and including PrintVis in their traditional VAR practice.
We honestly focused on it because we think that there are very few products that were ready to go to market in a cloud-only environment. And with the amount of effort that Microsoft is putting into educating people on the cloud environment and on small projects, on small license counts, on being able to get up and running quickly, when we kind of looked around at what products are out there, it was really going to be the only true vertical we saw was in printing and graphic arts or in warehouse management. The first thing we needed to do was figure out an implementation strategy that we could try to do remotely and keep our costs down, because you can't run a small project like you would the old traditional 300 license project and expect to have the same results. Business owners are smarter now. They're a little bit better equipped to go into projects and try to do more heavy lifting on their own. So we need to train our staff a little bit better on being a little bit more agile, on being quick to deploy, and on holding our customers a little bit more in a scripted routine, rather than allowing them to kind of dictate the implementation strategy and the methodology and the things that we wanted to do with it. The only things we will sell will be True Cloud going forward. I think all of our customers from this point on, we have made, we made a business decision before COVID to do all of our implementations remotely. Having a cloud product that is easy to deploy fits perfectly with that business model, because now the product is available to deploy remotely. You can add licenses very quickly and easily. So having our staff working remotely, having a product that's cloud enabled, we don't think we're going to sell anything on premise going forward, and we're actually trying not to. They love it. Most of the time we're dealing with estimators. There's really not a good product that's in the marketplace today that serves both sides of the house, kind of the estimation side as well as the accounting side. So people have come to learn to be very happy with estimating and very unhappy with a very rudimentary or basic accounting system, or very happy with a great accounting package and then not happy and having to run everything off of Excel from an estimating. So when you present them a cohesive platform that's very, very cost effective, they tend to get very excited about it. And that's a great question. I think they need time. And they need some bandwidth from PrintVis. They need to have a coach. I would encourage you to have one person to kind of work with so that you can develop a little bit of rapport going back and forth. Because PrintVis is fantastic at knowing PrintVis. We were great at knowing Nav, or now Business Central. And sometimes we would get into those gray areas where we weren't sure if it was a PrintVis issue or a Business Central issue. Our consultants didn't know or didn't feel comfortable enough. So I think kind of initially having someone to really hold your hand and go through things that you can help identify would be really, really beneficial to get people up to speed quicker. I think it's been very beneficial. I think going forward, there's a crude American saying that there are riches in the niches. So I think if you can focus on niches and establish yourself as an expert, it will make it that much easier to extract the riches and to deploy more and more systems and sell more software and make everybody a lot more money.
And finally, let's hear it short and clear from the Microsoft Partner of the Year 2020, NAB Solutions in Sweden.
Hi, my name is Johan Ehrenmark. I'm the CEO of NAB Solutions in Sweden. I hope you have a great virtual directions. NAB Solutions has embraced Business Central Cloud because our customers really want to be in the cloud. It's good for them, it's good for us. And since the demand is increasing so much, we have to figure out ways to deliver more faster. We have to be repeatable, reuse the way we implement customers. And that's why PrintVis fits so great in our offering. It's a vertical solution where most of the functionality our customers in the graphical industry needs out of the box. It makes it possible for us to help more customers faster.
So, what more can we tell you, except for how to get started with this vertical? I have asked our partner manager to join me here and to tell you about our partner program, how to get onboarded, how to get trained, what do you do to get started?
My name is Helle Fogden Mikkelsen and I'm Partner Manager at PrintVis. We want to have successful partners, highly skilled partners, and partners with satisfied customers. To accomplish this, the PrintVis Partner Program offers a wide range of learning resources, from sales and demo training to a full PrintVis certification program. We offer multiple weekly open office sessions for our partner sales reps, consultants and developers. And our partner portal gathers all valuable information and training materials for partners. When we onboard new partners, we want to make sure they're all familiar with the many learning resources available, and our consultants are here to help them manage their first implementation project. We also have marketing kickoff meetings to help a partner's go-to-market strategy. All the way through the partnership, PrintVis has focused on driving website traffic and building brand awareness to help generate leads for our partners. We want to empower our partners to be able to deliver PrintVis cloud solution to their markets. And to facilitate this, we have launched a cloud implementation program. So I'm here with Kit, Senior Consultant at PrintVis. And Kit, why don't you tell us more about the cloud implementation program?
Right. The cloud implementation program is designed to help our partners be more efficient in the implementations and get to success in a shorter time, have less error and maybe some learning errors, flatten the learning curve, etc. For our new partners. We know that it can be intimidating to take on a new ISV, and we want to make sure that it is as easy as possible. So we are doing things that we can do to make that a nice and easy process for new partners. One of the things that we do, of course, is that we provide sales training. It is really difficult to come into a new industry and try to learn new vertical specific lingo, for example. There's a whole vocabulary that is really that you have to adapt. And then so with the sales training, we try to get people we try to teach people to make demos that will be credible with the audience. Another thing that we do is that we provide help and guidance for developers in those systems or in those partners that take on PrintVis, so that they can utilize the tools that we have available in PrintVis rather than just flying off to build an extension the minute that the customer says something that you can't really find firsthand in PrintVis. It might be there somewhere, and it typically is. So we have guidance for developers that are looking for lean solutions to customer problems. And then we have simply an onboarding training for new partners. We have how to install and implement, how to make the analysis, how to do the things in the setup that is needed for the customer to get a nice product at the end. The implementation is the heavy part of the implementation of PrintVis is the heavy part of the overall implementation. So this is where we need to be sure that we support our partners with training, with online documentation, and with advice when they run into something. We offer all of those things. And then finally, for people who know the system, have had a couple of implementations under the vest, can take a certification for PrintVis. It's quite a task to go through this certification, but it is also a learning track, so that you can find out areas of PrintVis that you did not know, and so that you can learn from that as well. So that is what we have in what we offer of partner support. Partner support is important for partners to be successful. Another way that we try to underline this is that we provide some example implementation plans. We provide a trial database that the customer can try on, and they can go from the trial to a real installation following some do-it-yourself guidelines, or having help from a partner to go through a process that makes the trial setup look more like their own, and eventually they can just use the same database, really. And so we try to make this an easy transition from trial to go live database. And with the documentation we have, we are trying to make it really practical, like how to do this and that, rather than just describing fields and tables and pages and whatever that we can sometimes find in online documentation also for the BCE package.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we try to do.
And you're also working on a end customer
Yes.
training track.
Yes, that is maybe that's a part of the offering that our partners can take to their customers, is that they can, once a super user at the customer has gained a little experience with this, they will be offered, or they can go through a training / certification process for a super user. And we might take on several of those kinds of certifications in the future.
Thank you, Kit.